Hello everybody, welcome back again. So yeah, we're going to be doing some more game development work here. And what else? That's basically it. So we did some stuff this morning with the icons and whatnot. I kind of want to get started on this VFX sourced from cards when dealing damage. Basically, I want to do the damage and the poison and stuff should come from the cards themselves to make combat a little bit more interesting. That's just kind of like a polishing thing that I wanted to experiment with, so we may do a little bit of that. But I may try to address this bug first. Well, I'll show you what the bug is in a little bit, but yeah, I think I'll just skip the ads for today for this second stream. But you can wishlist Alchemortis on Steam if you're interested, and all that is linked in the description below. Unfortunately, I didn't have my social stream running, so I can't highlight these comments, but welcome back, Jackie Daytona, good to see you. How are you doing? Hello, Clickertail, welcome, welcome. Nathan, welcome back, good to see you. Okay, so yeah, let's fix this bug first. So this bug in particular, oh, and by the way, I also updated my Godot utilities library here to create auto-generated methods for connecting to signals. So I showed this example in the Discord, but this is my little afternoon project. So why am I so dark? This is weird. Is that better? Okay, that's better. I'm excited for the third stream later today. Welcome back, okay water, okay. So typically if you want to connect to signals in the default way in Godot, you have to do this .connect, and then you have to pass in the signal name. You have to pass in this callable with all the argument types specified, and then finally the method name that you want to create the callable from. But I updated the source generators in Godot utilities so that I can just do this now. .connect to card transferred, and then I can just do on card transferred here. So if you're interested in that, if you're using C# with Godot, you can definitely check that out. That was just released this afternoon. And yeah, all that's doing is that's just creating these generated methods. So for every signal that you have in defined in the class here, actually, oh, card mouse events manager. Yeah, so for all the signals you have defined in the class, it will go ahead and create, now I lost it again. It will go ahead and create those connect to and disconnect from methods in here. So anyway, I think that's pretty cool. It dramatically shortens the amount of code that you have to write to connect to those. So anyway. Yeah. Cool. But I'm not going to update all those just yet. It's just, I'll just update those as I go along. The first thing we need to do is let's solve this bug. So if I have a card, like in this case, the Fist of Anger here, which applies 3 turns of paralysis to a single card, what happens is when I hover over it, it selects a different card every time, and that's just the random nature of it. I'm kind of torn on this. Do I want to keep it that way, or do I want to highlight every potential target, or do I want to just highlight the same one every time? I think highlighting everything would be a little bit ridiculous, because this applies to any cards. So when I hover over this, it would highlight everything. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think about that. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so we'll have to think about that, but does anyone have any opinions on that? I mean, maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's not such a problem that it highlights something different every time. Or maybe if it has a random ordering, maybe it shouldn't highlight everything. I don't know how this works. On hover, scroll wheel re-randomizes the highlight. Well, the problem is the scroll wheel will scroll this tooltip if it's too long. So I don't know if I want to bind that to multiple things there. So yeah, I don't really know what to do about that. Let me take a look at this. So this query target provider, self query. No, that's not right. Oh, ability builder paralysis. So limit 1, order by random true. And then I'm resetting the tag filter to none here. Yeah, I think it's just a little bit weird. Let me look for order by random equals 3. Or equals true. Why am I so dark? I don't understand what's going on here. Okay, there we go. It's better. So the problem is there's a limit here sometimes that's not 1. So one way I'm thinking about doing this is I could just... I don't know. I could just... If the order by random flag is present, maybe I could just ignore the limit and ignore the order by random and just highlight the cards that otherwise match the filters without those things. I may already be handling the limit in here in that way. Oh, maybe not. Get modified query options. Where is this used? Is the limit not applied here? Query board. Query this. The limit is applied here, so yeah, I don't know. I don't think it needs to highlight anything when it can target everything on the board. It's a bit different when the target can be specific, where you would need to know all the possible targets. Yeah. Maybe it just auto cycles when hovering. Think your Minecraft alternative crafting recipes. Wow, you're on a 35 stream streak. Yeah, if it affects everything, I could see it not highlighting. Confuse, base confuse count. Where is this used? Giant mushroom. Well, I'll just modify this Fist of Anger card here for a second. Let's just set the limit to 2 there. Okay. So yeah, this is highlighting two different things every time. So, maybe it's okay. I don't really know if there's a better solution here. Or I guess like you said, Baron for the win. I could just make it cycle on a timer, maybe. Maybe I could do that. Let me try cycling it on a timer. Hello, Diginanigans, welcome back. Query highlight component. Private tween, random cycle tween. So we got random cycle tween. Onboard card mouse exited. Random cycle tween kill if valid. So we'll do that. Maybe this will work. Okay. Query options equals get modified query option if self query only continue. Okay. So then what we're going to want to do is we basically need to do all of this. Oh no. Wait a minute. Am I going to have to redo the whole thing? Yeah, I may actually have to do this on card board mouse entered. Okay. That's fine. Basically have to rerun this whole thing. Show highlight for card. No romancing on Alchemortis. Yeah. Nope. Not happening, I'm sorry to say. Oh, wait. No, this should be fine. This should be fine, okay. Show highlight for card, card ref, and then in here, if query options dot order by random, then we'll set up the tween in here. And random cycle tween is valid, is not equal to true. Then we'll create that tween. Random cycle tween is equal to create tween. So this is valid, should prevent it from being created multiple times, I think. So we do random cycle tween dot set loops, random cycle tween dot tween interval. Maybe we'll do it on a half a second interval. Random cycle tween dot tween action. Yeah, clear highlights, and then show highlight for card ref. Oh, but this is killing the tween if valid. Oh. So maybe I don't put looping in there then, because this clear highlights is going to kill the tween. Yeah, that might work. Let's see what happens. So as a dev working on a deck builder, will you play or avoid Slay the Spire 2 because you might get some insights by playing it? I probably won't play it. Probably won't play it for a couple of reasons. Not because I wouldn't like to play it, but I'm trying to control my spending a little bit until the release of Alka Mortis, because the unfortunate reality is that I am running lower on funds. But the other thing is that when I get around to playing video games in the evening, it's usually Arc Raiders with my friends, so I don't really have time to play it anyway. Okay. Oh, by the way, I also added an option to hold down the Alt key if you want to hide tooltips. So while the Alt key is held down, the tooltips go away. So I got rid of that hide tooltip button here. And instead now if you just holding Alt just disables all tooltips. So anyway, do we like this? Funds are not Safu. That's also my sad reality. I don't know what Safu is. But do we like this cycling here? What do you think? Baron for the win if you're still here. If I can play with my keyboard, this will be awesome. Yeah, the focus is making it entirely playable with the mouse first, but then if I can add, I'm sure adding controller support is probably going to mesh very well with adding keyboard only support. So if you want to play with a keyboard only, I guess I can support that with minimal effort. You kind of like it? I haven't been playing much games in general of the last while, and instead been using most of that sort of time working on my own game. Yeah. Safu means safe. Oh, I see. Interesting. Mugenics has gotten the better of me, and I've sunk in many hours into it over the last week. Yeah. I've heard that Mugenics is pretty good. I think adding a setting to either allow the highlighted cards to cycle or disable the cycling. Yeah, see, this comes up a lot where if you're trying to decide to do something as a dev, people will suggest, well, just add a setting for it. But it's like, I almost want to add settings as like a last resort. You know what I mean? Like, so a palette swap option for this game is kind of like a last resort to address any issues that people might have with the game being too dark, right? But the goal is to try to make it an intuitive experience to the point where, you know, people don't have to fine tune these things. And the other thing too is like, yeah, having a setting like that is kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's just like, it's so fine tuned, it's so fine grained that it's like, who exactly is it going to appeal to, right? I think it might be tempting as a dev to say, well, I don't know which approach to do, so I'll just let the user do it. But it's not, like, my job as a dev is not to give the player a bunch of random decisions to make, even if those are just in the settings. You know, it's like, I'm trying to craft an experience that's intuitive and enjoyable. And to the extent I offer settings, it's to allow the player to get the game to render or scale or display in a way that makes their experience more enjoyable, you know, changing the sound volumes and stuff like that. But as far as like how the mechanics work of like the inventory and everything, I don't think getting like fine-grained with settings is really a solution there. Inverse color palette, this is interesting. Right, and not every player checks the options. Like, I'm thinking, like, with this game, the options menu is basically going to be, what's your music volume, what's your sound effects volume, what's your full screen, on or off. If you want screen shake on or off, that is something, because some people get sick from the screen shake to some extent. And then the keybind options, right? But even still, all of those things should be sensible defaults, right? Like, I want the music volume to be, like, so that most players aren't going to want to change it, right? I want the sound effects volume to be the same way. I want the control scheme to make so much sense that most people aren't going to change their keybinds, right? But anyway. I should probably undo this. So I think that works. I think we can work with that. Anyway, it's a little bit weird because sometimes the random cycling will choose the same set of cards, and so it looks like it's delayed a little bit, but I don't think it's really worth trying to fix that. Yeah, that would be quite an involved fix because I would have to reach into the query behavior and tell it to like exclude cards that have already been queried, and that's just, yeah, it's a whole thing. So anyway, let's move to doing some VFX stuff. Make VFX sourced from cards when dealing damage applying poison. So right now, if I go into combat, and let's just go into combat with the training dummy, I guess. Do I have anything that applies poison? I do. So when I apply poison here, for example, the way that I'm doing it is like the poison just kind of drops from the sky and applies that damage. But there's not really any indication of which card was responsible for that poison damage. So I want to try to make it a little bit more visually interesting, but also give the player some additional insight, visually speaking, as to which cards are doing the thing. And that's a little bit tricky because there is no waiting for animations. Like when a card goes, it goes, right? So the animations can't be super long. So I think actually poison is probably a good candidate to start with. Poison effect. So this is in the effect player component. Oh, on status applied. Oh, I don't even have a reference to it. Effect type enum. Okay, this is going to be a little bit tricky, I think. On status applied base status. Let's see. So we have this effect type enum poison here. That is not used anywhere, but I could use that in here. Play effect for ability. The problem is this is not going to work with batching effects either. I didn't really give this much thought, to be honest, but let's get rid of the poison status here. We're going to do this. I may actually need multiple different effects for the same thing. So the breakdown here is that a card can apply poison, right? But if multiple cards apply poison all in the same frame, then what happens is those all get batched into a single poison effect currently. But now I'm trying to move to a thing where each individual card can play some kind of visual effect for whatever status it's applying. So yeah. This is just going to be largely experimental, I think. So we're just going to play around with it and see what it looks like. From position is... Oh, and I don't even have a reference to the card. Oh no. Execution context dot base card. Base card dot center. Nope, this is going to be card node dot center position. And then we'll break here. So let me just see what this does. It's going to be a lot of... I do think that the visual effects need to be tightened up and polished up a little bit. It doesn't quite look like... It doesn't quite look super impressive. So we'll see what we can do about this, but it may be a little bit more effort than I think. Oh, that's not correct. I may have to come up with a whole new system for this, honestly. Let's see. I wonder if it's okay for the animation to take a little bit longer. Let me see. So the weird thing is that, yeah, the poison is being applied as soon as it executes. And so the status is going up immediately. But then this effect here has a little bit of travel time. That might be okay. It might not be exactly super matched up. Let's turn the gravity up as well. We'll turn the gravity up and see. So the other option is to do a mixture of things, to do a more minor poison effect on the card, and then keep what I had before, which is a poison vial flying from the sky. So maybe that might be the way to do it. I actually have a better idea for the physical damage. The other thing I could do too is I could actually move the cards. So right now their trigger animation is they just like bounce, they just scale out a little bit. But for like something that's dealing damage, I could maybe actually like shift it over a little bit, like give it a little punch, you know what I mean? There's got to be something I could do to make this a little bit nicer without being too like visually overbearing too. Let me try something. What is 18 times 2? Is that 36? Ooh, got it. I remember my math flashcards. Load default palette. So I'm just going to try something here. Oh, that's not going to work. Well, this doesn't have to be perfect, but okay, we'll give this a shot here. Part of me feels like this is too thick, but that's all right. We will worry about that in a second. We will worry about that in a second. Let's just draw something up really quick, and then we will figure out what the heck we're doing. Trim. Okay. I'm just going to create a new folder in here called combat. And then we'll just call this damage.asprite. And let's also export this. How did I forget how to export? Oh, there we go. Okay. Hello, RN Genesis. Welcome back. I've missed so much. Well, there's always more. There's always more happening with Alchemortis, so even if you miss something interesting, there's bound to be something else interesting coming up. All right, so where am I going with this? I actually think that this probably needs to be. I think I drew this at a weird size, but this hilt probably shouldn't be that massive. But oh well, it's just a test, so we don't need to be super strict about it here. Okay, anyway. What did I just do? Create a combat folder here. Okay. We're just getting this all set up here. Now, I guess just to make this easy on myself, I'll do an animation player here. We'll just throw together a very basic animation. Okay, so Sprite 2D. We probably want to make this like 0.4 seconds at the most. So we want to start the scale at 0. Okay, and then we're going to do the position as well. Insert key. Let's just move this over by like 10. This needs to be a little bit more exaggerated, I think, right here. Maybe not quite that much. So I don't know if this is going to work, but we will see. Okay, and then we'll just add a call method track here. Queue free. Okay, we'll see. Are we dialing dialing in the visuals. Yeah, I'm just experimenting with new visual effects for the combat. I don't know how this is going to go, but we will certainly find out. Okay, that's set to autoplay. Cool. Do I need to do anything special here? I don't think so. Okay, I'm just going to do something very, very basic here for now. So this is playing that damage effect here, but I also want to do... We're going to do node 2D. I will clean this all up later, but I just want to see if this is working. You're probably going to want to do something like if base card is not equal to null, because I think it's possible to deal damage without a base card. Sword, damage, add child sword, sword dot position is equal to 2 local. Oh, but this is the wrong effect player. Son of a biscuit. No, this is not right. How do I want to do this? This should probably be called play effect for received ability. And this should be public void play effect for source ability, something like that. This is going to be quite a lot of work here, but that's okay. Guess I shouldn't have undid all that. That's okay. Just copy this. Give me 1 second. Had to let the cat in. I think a red slash through the enemy board at random rotation would look good. Even juice shoot. Well, I already have that. Yeah. I mean, I don't have a slash. It's just like a blood effect, but maybe a slash would work for sure. But let's see. So I need to do var sword is equal to instantiate node 2D. Damage. Son of a bee, lurk. It's been lurking. I've been lurking all this time. Welcome back, Neozoid. Good to see you. Add child sword. If flip effect, sword dot scale. Okay. Let's get rid of all these. Okay, so now on my board, if effect board is not equal to no, okay, so flip. Effect board is equal to executed against board. Var source board is equal to execution. Do I have latest ability entry dot source board? Okay, yeah. So let's change this to target board. Play effect for received ability. Target board. No, source board. dot effect player component dot play effect for source ability. This should be not flip. That's a little bit weird, but anyway, I just want to see if this will work. Probably not. It's always this point in the game that seems the most difficult, getting the feel for the game that makes or breaks it. All these little things that add up to a great feeling game. Yeah, it is going to be difficult. It is going to be difficult for sure. But let's see if this works. So we're going to try this with the, whatever this thing is called, the Fist of Anger. Oh, it went the wrong way. Very cool. I could see that working, maybe. Why is this so target board? Oh, I guess this would need to be flip as well. The AI was right, I was wrong. Like that fist grab it, thank you. That is a play on Saint Anger. Metallica's Saint Anger. And I didn't know. Didn't know what? What didn't I know? How do we feel about that? Like, I realize that it's not the most impressive thing right now, but do we like that little sword animation playing from the card when it deals damage? Do we like that or no? I'm gonna spend too much time dealing this graphic. Maybe it would be better outside the player's box area. Can we see it with a couple cards on the board? Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can put something together here. Like the idea though? I think our idea for the jump forward would look better. Well, the problem is that's not solving the problem that I'm trying to solve. If it's outside of the player board area, then there's no indication of which card it's coming from. So the entire point of this VFX overhaul was to give the player some additional visual indication of like which cards are doing what. It's not going to be trackable. Like you're not going to be able to keep in your mind like, oh, these are all the effects that played from this card. But it's just something to give like a visual indicator of like how cards are behaving. Do I have anything else that deals damage here? I don't. Okay, let's just put some skeleton warriors on the board then. Let's get rid of this. Skeleton warrior, skeleton warrior. Okay. So let's take a look at how this is going. So how are you feeling about that? Good? Not good? I mean, yeah, obviously some polish and everything, but you like it with multiple cards? Definitely gives me a better idea of what's happening. Yeah, okay, good, because that's kind of the goal, right? So let's just, before I polish the heck out of just this one thing, let's see what happens when I add a bunch of effects, because the next thing that I'm kind of concerned about is like if a card applies poison and multiple damage. So I'm probably actually going to need to batch this if a card applies damage multiple times, I don't want to spawn multiple of these damage effects. So I'm going to need to like, yeah, I'm going to need to like store which damage effects have been played by that card already. So I'm not spawning way too many of them. But like if a card is applying poison and bleed and, you know, paralysis or whatever, is that going to be, you know, is that going to be too much coming from one card every time it executes? Or is that going to look cool? Like, is it going to be fun to see a card just send out all the effects at once? You know what I mean? You're not feeling it? Though I think the effect should be iterated on. If you have single cell cards going off, it's going to look crazy. Yeah, that's true. In a bad way. The visual effect is clarifying what's happening is working. Yeah. So it's kind of like a tricky situation to be in because I want to indicate what's happening, like what the card is actually doing, but I also don't want to do it in a way where like the visuals are so flashy that it's just going to become a mess, right? So it needs to be like this really targeted, quick thing. What would be cool for this sword effect, if I were to iterate on it, is to do like a slash effect, like have a smear effect on it, and then have it like execute at different angles every time. So it looks a little bit more dynamic. So when there's multiple things all going at the same time, it's not just like very static and robotic, but... And of course I can always slow down the combat too. Some of those visuals won't be as flashy then. Trying to draw a comparison with OG Final Fantasy, each character would step forward and swing their sword or whatever. Yeah, well the problem is with that, like you have the animation being weighted before the next thing happens. In this, like every card that is finished with its turn goes at the same time. So I don't really have an opportunity to like call out an individual card as doing this. And the reason I'm not doing that is because that just makes the auto battler combat very sluggish, because then you have to wait for each card to do its animation. If you've got 5 cards that all need to go, then it's just like 1 animation, 2 animation, 3 animation, 4 animation, 5 animation. Okay, now we can go forward. But now, oh, now it's the enemy's turn and 3 cards of the enemy are going. So it's 1 animation. You know, that's not exactly that good either. Yeah, the auto playing is the big problem, I think. I did like getting a crazy amount of poison flying through the air, so maybe over the top isn't bad. Just gonna take testing, might be surprising how good it feels. More visuals going on adds to the effect, especially with the right S effects. Yeah. So we'll keep playing with this. So we'll try to identify another effect to do here. So we've got damage in place. It's going to require, yeah, it's going to require some finagling, but that's all right. But I'm going to take a quick 3-minute break, and when I come back, we will we'll choose another effect to prototype, and then we'll go from there. So give me 3 minutes, I'll be right back, and we'll continue on. Alright, I'm back. What's the next effect that we want to look at here? So poison, bleed, fire, these things are going to be a little bit interesting. Maybe fire would be an interesting one to do, because I do want to try like doing crossboard effects where like I launch a firebolt at the board, you know what I mean? Shoot. Well, let's just try it, I suppose. Let's just try it, I suppose. So I'm just going to copy this flame here. We'll do a new scene in here. All right, the cat is back in the room. Okay. So let's do scenes, combat, new scene, fire. Create that, paste that here. I'm going to make this processing material unique recursive. And for some reason I can't do that. I don't know why. Why am I not allowed to make this unique recursive? Copy, paste as unique. Okay, I guess that's a workaround. Must be a bug in Godot 4.6 or something, but anyway. Let's change this to emitting. Oh, we need to turn this off of one shot here. We want no gravity. We want no radial velocity. Actually, maybe we do want radial velocity. Maybe what we don't want. Maybe we don't want velocity here. Or maybe we do, but we do a 180 spread. And then we just do like 0 to 10 or something. I don't think this angular velocity, or this, what was it called? I get so lost in these menus. Oh, radial velocity, there we go. So we tighten up the sphere a little bit. We could change the scale as well. Now that is going a little bit too far out. So keep the ball tighter. Flatness. Honestly, I don't even know what some of these velocity things do. But maybe we can change the linear acceleration. Does that even do anything? Kind of, not really. Okay, well, let's just try it with this. Again, it's going to be one of those things where I have to... just work with it, I guess. But I'm just curious to see mostly what this is going to look like. Scripts, effect, new folder, combat. Okay, let's attach a script here. Create that. Game.effect.combat. We've got the flame particles here. Let's turn that off. Node private GPU particles 2D flame. Public void play. We're going to set the vector to target position. Now the cat wants to go out of the room. I have to keep the door closed now, but the cat wants to go in and out, in and out, in and out. How about you sit with me? Okay. There we go. Is that better? Look at this belly. We need to put you on cat Zempic, don't we? We need to put you on cat Zempic. You're too fat. Look at this belly. Anyway, so we're going to set up a tween here. Cat is full of soup, yeah. Big Junkus. He's actually not that overweight. He's probably like a half a pound too heavy, if I were to guess. Probably just like a half a pound too heavy, huh, bud? Which is quite a lot. I mean, for a 9-pound cat, a half a pound is quite a lot of weight to lose, right? Right, there's quite a lot of weight to lose. If somebody is good at math, they can tell you what percentage of your body weight you have to lose. Right? It's like 5%. Is that right? No. Yeah. No? Something like that. Anyway. Tween.tween action. We want to set the particles. Oh, flame dot emitting equals true. Tween.tween position. Flame. Target position. We'll do it over 0.4 seconds. Set transition cubic out, I think. Tween.tween action. Flame dot emitting equals false. Tween.tween interval. Let's see if the cat wants to come back in. Hello, Rin. Nice to watch a daytime stream. Yeah, welcome back. I've been doing these daytime streams quite frequently recently. So, yeah, you can keep an eye out if you're interested in joining them. All right, so we've got the play here. So now let's go to our effect player component. We're going to need to add this fire into our effect player component. Okay, so we've got that going on. Play effect for source ability. Case enum.fire. Fire effect is equal to instance scener null fire. Oh, it's using the wrong fire. Fire effect dot play to local. Oh, I also don't know. Oh, no. So I need the play effect for source ability. Oh, I'm gonna need the Something like that. I don't know. This is going to be a mess. Let's actually make this the first argument. Other effect player is target board dot effect player component. I don't think I want to do this flip effect in here. Anyway, let's see what happens. Let's just load up on skeleton mages. I feel like Godot must be 95% tweens, yeah. 7 in the morning here, just woke up, about to start working on more of the next book. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, let's load up on skeleton mages and see what happens. These are all going to shoot at the same time, so it's going to be interesting, but let's see. Oh, that's kind of cool, actually. I think I need to make this in, though, if I'm not mistaken. Why do I always forget my easings? There's a website called easings.net, which you can use. I think there's a Godot-specific easing as well, but I think I want in cubic. Where is in cubic? In... Yeah, so it starts off slow and then it accelerates. That's what I want. Oh my gosh, here comes the cat again. We're not gonna do this, cat. We're not gonna do this. Okay, let's see. So that is moving too fast for the particle system. I could potentially edit this lifetime down to 0.2 instead, but we'll have to see how that goes. That might make it better. What I probably want to do is actually, before setting the emitting to false, tween.tween action, or tween interval, I want to give it some time to emit at the target location. I mean, I don't really know if I like this, but I think it's worthy of a test here. Hi. It's like missing a bunch. The other option is to not... I actually don't know how to make this look good. I could change the direction to -1 and turn up the velocity. And then I could turn off global drawing, but let's see if this works. Working on that second book in my Bloodline series, and all my books are free on Apple iBooks for the next month under the pen name Trig Charters. Very cool. If anyone's interested, what is the genre again? Is it sci-fi? Definitely encourage people to check it out. Because, you know, that's what we do. We support each other in the Firebelly Games community. Oh, that looks like terrible. That looks like a certain word that starts with A and ends with a double S. Ah, foiled again. I'm spending a lot of my time these days being foiled, being stumped. Well, I could use a less aggressive... I could use a less aggressive easing. I mean, the only less aggressive one is sign. But that's probably not going to make much of a difference either. I could crank up the number of particles emitted too, but that's not going to look good either. Vampire horror, but with all my books, they are sci-fi, fantasy, supernatural, and horror. Gotcha. Also one attempt at manga. Why is that position resetting? You know what might be cooler is I might... Let me think about this. Oh, did I duplicate this on accident? How did that happen? Well, one thing to do is to slow down the animation a bit, but again, I can't make the animations too slow because then they'll be too disconnected from the card that casted it. Maybe that's not a problem, though. Maybe it's okay for the animations to just be like these nice visual spectacles that aren't really timed in any particular way. So what might be interesting here is, okay, so slowing down the time a little bit helped, but what might be interesting too for the flame is sort of like make it follow a Bezier curve. Which I don't know how to do, so forgive me for this, but I'm going to have the AI do it. I want this flame to tween to the target position along a randomized Bezier curve. Let's see what Mr. Claude does. Mr. Claude is my AI servant, and he has very low wages, $20 a month, and he does my bidding whenever I ask. So it's a good thing you can't abuse LLMs because that would probably be a textbook case of employment abuse. When the AI revolution comes, yeah. I don't give them healthcare or nothing either. So until an LLM can sue people, I'm safe. What are you doing, Claude? Why is it reading a bunch of random stuff? Oh gosh. I've heard Siri get mad at me. Ask her to jokingly marry you. Oh, I've seen that, yeah. I don't have any... Well, I guess I do have a MacBook, but... I've never interacted with Siri much. This cat. Hi. While Claude is doing our work for us, we'll just pet the cat. He is like all over me right now. It's kind of annoying. See what I mean? See what I mean? And his claws need to be trimmed, so he keeps getting stuck on my clothes. Why is this taking so long? Like, I thought Bezier functions were pretty straightforward. Okay, yes, and auto accept. Let's do it. These are the situations where I use AI the most, where it's like, I could go to Stack Overflow and look at like a Bezier implementation and try to tweak it myself and understand what's going on, or I could just say, AI, do it for me. Like, look at this. I could also use a Godot curve for it, but the problem with using a Godot like predefined curve is that I don't know how to introduce randomness to that. So I could define like a handful of curves and have them follow that, but I think the variety is going to be helpful. This is just largely experimentation too. I have no idea if this is going to look good or not. Ooh. Okay, I can see it actually. So probably that big flame effect here, that's currently played on applying fire. Probably move that flame effect to play when it actually takes flame damage or fire damage. So this will be the applications of fire. Probably want to add some kind of like fire explosion to when it hits. Okay, I can see this working. I could definitely see that working. So again, I'm not gonna go too deep into like polishing the visuals of this up. I just want to get something very basic in place. And then I can go back and refine everything. So my goal here is to just kind of get all the effects into a spot where like I can see how they would be with some refinement, and then just like introduce them one by one, because ultimately what I want to get to is a situation where I can see what a diverse board with a bunch of different effects going on looks like. So that's kind of the goal, but they removed some of the fun stuff. Before, if you asked her to divide by 0, she used a metaphor involving Cookie Monster being sad. My cat is so not impressed with yours. Appears on stream. Can't imagine what he'd do if yours was owned to meow. Oh, goodness. Hello, Emerson. Fireballs are cool. Okay. All right. This is the time of day and the time of year where the sun comes directly on my eye through my window. It's like a couple weeks out of the year, it's just like beaming right in my face. This dang astronomy, who knows how it works. Okay, so I think that's looking good. Maybe I'll ask Mr. Claude here to do some more randomness in the Bezier. Can you add more randomness? Let's stage these before anything bad happens. Oh, there we go. That sounds good. Let's try it again. So now we need to come up with something for like a poison effect. Bleed. What's the other ones? Shield. I think shield would probably be easy. I would just take a smaller version of that shield effect. Probably, and just have it sourced from the card itself. Now the question is, what happens if I apply fire damage to myself? That's going to be interesting. Okay, that's looking pretty good, actually. Now, one other minor tweak, this is kind of entering the realm of like hyper polish, but I can probably also change the lifetime here. So instead of doing a fixed 0.5 second here, I could do like mathutil.rng.randf range. We could do anywhere between 0.4 and 0.6 maybe. And so when multiple fireballs are going at the same time, they will hit the target at different times too. You like the fireballs? Okay, good. I'm glad that this VFX experimentation is not in vain. I can definitely see this working. It's just going to need a little bit more tweaks and stuff. But I can definitely see it working for sure. Now let's see what happens at the highest speed. Ooh, that actually looks pretty satisfying. Yeah, I have no complaints about that actually. Well, I mean, I have complaints, but I think that's a solid foundation for building out that effect more. So I think we'll call that good for now for this effect. Yeah, poison, we're going to have to think about that a little bit. So what other effect types do we have? Maybe I should put this on a different branch. Put this on a different branch. Looks great, you like it? Definitely adding an extra layer of polish feels more integrated. Awesome, okay, good. I'm glad we're on the right track here. Glad we're on the right track. Anyway, what was I looking for? Effect type enum. Targeted damage, poison, fire, shield. So we need shield, we need heal. Kind of have an idea for a heal effect that I would want to do. Shielding, I think that could be very basic. Probably going to want one for bleed as well. Poison, shield. I mean, shield would be an easy one, I think. The hardest part about that would be just drawing the shield itself. But we could probably do that. Let's see if we can get a shield in place. Maybe we'll make it like 24 by 24. Kind of did this in the wrong order, actually. Just make it a typical round shield. And then, what if there's an opportunity to do something like this? Actually, I have a better idea. Okay. I'm just going to put a black background on this so I can see what's going on. Okay. How am I going to do... I don't know. I don't really know how to draw shields. So this is going to be a little bit interesting. We'll get it there. This is not going the way that I want it to go. Actually, that looks pretty decent. So it's really this part now. Let's see. Try to make this look like wood to some extent. Okay. I don't know about this. I don't know about this, but we'll see. We will see. Hmm. Let's just increase the size a little bit so I have more breathing room here. I think it looks decent, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. That kind of looks better. That kind of looks better. Love that randomness as well, yeah. I'm excited for the heal effect. If you did it more in the style of a heater shield, it might be easier to differentiate. The roundness makes it a bit hard to read that it's not some sort of magical orb or something. What are you doing now? We're working on VFX. That is what we are doing. Alright, let's give it another shot. Okay, cat. Goodness gracious. I guess it's more like a tower shield. I'm not very good at drawing shields for some reason. Maybe this looks alright. Maybe this looks alright? I don't know. Do I want to put something in the middle here? I guess they typically have like emblems or something, right? That's looking better, I suppose. Probably don't want that up there. I honestly don't know what's so hard about this. That kind of looks okay. Don't know about this. Okay. Hold on, I gotta take this phone call real quick. Sorry about this. Be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I do not know how to draw shields, apparently. Honestly, I think this one is better. I honestly think this one is a little bit better. Maybe we'll give it some slightly different shading and hope that that makes it stand out a little bit more. I don't know. That kind of gives it a little bit of a grungier look, too. Maybe if I do this part almost fully dark. Actually, let's give that a shot. I mean, it's all right. I don't think it's like super, super good, but I don't know. I don't know. Just drove back from an appointment and heard the stream still running. Just about fought my monitor. I feel like with the things I'm saying on this stream, I'm probably the least intimidating home intruder. Imagine there's somebody sitting in your kitchen unannounced and they're just like, I can't draw this shield. I don't know what's going on. I think the round one looks great. Just my thoughts. Okay, yeah, we'll stick with that then. Okay, well, I am going to unfortunately end the stream there, but I'm gonna give this some more work, and I'll see if I have something to show for tomorrow's stream. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for being here. Always appreciate it. And again, if you're interested in supporting the game, you can check out Alchemortis. I won't bring it up right now, but the links for all the ways you could support me and the game are in the description below. So check those out if you're interested. Appreciate it, everybody. And yeah, I'll be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. So I hope to see you there. And have a great night. And bye-bye for now.